All right, YT, let's talk about it. The Baltimore Ravens are now one win away from repeating as AFC North champions. Behind an unrelenting rushing attack and a dominating defense, the Ravens are in control of their division fate after routing the Houston Texans 31-2. It was an embarrassing show for the Texans, who failed to score a touchdown behind a sluggish offensive performance. With 1 week left in the regular season, Baltimore, who are 11-5, holds a one-game lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 10-6, who lost against the Kansas City Chiefs 29-10 earlier Wednesday. The Ravens end the season at home against the last-place Cleveland Browns next week. Baltimore controlled the game with a 251 rushing yard using a combination of the powerful running of Derrick Henry, who had 147 yards that game, and the speed of quarterback Lamar Jackson, who had 87 yards. It was a record-setting day for Jackson, who surpassed Michael Vick as the NFL's all-time leading rusher quarterback. Well, all-time leading rushing quarterback, my bad. The Ravens defense hammered Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, producing 5 sacks and 1 interception. Baltimore would have recorded its first shutout since October 2018, if not for Henry's safety in the second quarter. I'm going to just go ahead and say this, y'all. And I know a lot of y'all going to be mad at me, you know what I'm saying, unless you're a Lamar Jackson fan. Now, I do know that I put a previous video out, and I was trying to give an example of why I felt Josh Allen was the MVP, because he is the most valuable player on his team. He is that person that gets his team over the hump. There's not another person that they could solely rely on, okay, offensively, to get that win for them. Now, when it comes to Lamar Jackson, however, he has someone else that they can lean on, that they can rely on to get them through the hump. You get what I'm saying? Through Derrick Henry. And considering the fact that, you know, he is one of the best rushers in the NFL right now. You know what I'm saying? So he has help, right? But even though I said what I said, I'm taking all that back. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Bottom line. Now, like I said, I know some of y'all gonna have some words for me in the comments. It's okay. I'm okay with it because I'm going to give you my reason of why I'm saying Lamar Jackson is the MVP right now. Okay? Let's take into consideration, like I said, Lamar Jackson has help now, right? He has a potential MVP player on his team, in his backfield. You get what I'm saying? So you would think, considering the fact that he has Derrick Henry on his team now, and considering the fact that Derrick Henry is the second leading rusher when it comes to NFL, and seeing that he has carried the ball over 300 times this season, his numbers shall decrease, right? And then when you look at Josh Allen, and you see how he has no help, really. I mean, he got help. I ain't going to say he don't have help, but he don't have as much help on his team than Lamar Jackson, right? So being the fact that he doesn't have help like that, that they have to rely on him a lot more, a whole lot more than Lamar Jackson, his numbers should be increased. You get what I'm saying? Let's look at these stats. Lamar Jackson has less attempts this year. He has 442 attempts, and my boy Josh Allen got 456. Keep that in mind. When it comes to passing yards, Lamar Jackson has 3,955 yards. When it comes to Josh Allen, he has 3,549. When it comes to touchdowns, Lamar Jackson has 39 touchdown passes. When it comes to Josh Allen, he only has 26. When you look at interceptions, Lamar Jackson has 4 interceptions. When you look at Josh Allen, he has 6. When you look at QBR, Lamar Jackson, 77.5 to Josh Allen, 76.7. And when you look at rushing, you know that's already blown out the water. But I'm adding this in there because Josh Allen also runs the ball often, okay? So when you look at the rushing yards, that boy Lamar Jackson has 852 yards to Josh Allen's 514. Now, considering the fact that Lamar Jackson has more help in the backfield and he still has more yards than Josh Allen in every single category, he has less interceptions, which, you know, he should, considering the fact that Josh Allen has thrown the ball more. But this is another thing for me. Considering the fact that Derrick Henry almost getting close to 2,000 rushing yards with, I think, a total of 14 touchdowns, you would think, bro, that Lamar Jackson's numbers should be changed from the last season. Man, let me tell you something. Not only did he improve his numbers this year opposed to last year, he's also helped his receivers improve their yardage. Usually, when you have another talented player, if it's not a receiver, if you're a quarterback and it's not a receiver, most of the time your numbers change because now you have to share the rock. You get what I'm saying? Usually your numbers will change. And when I say change, they will drop. You get what I'm saying? Unless you dumping the ball off to that running back from the backfield, the number's not going to be the same. Look at these numbers. Lamar Jackson has 277 more passing yards this year. He has 31 more rushing yards this year. He has 15 more touchdowns this year. And this is not rushing. I'm talking about touchdown passes this year. Okay? And then he has 3 less interceptions. Derrick Henry was not on this team last year. And looking at the situation of Lamar Jackson being the leading rusher last year on his team, he should have had less rushing yards this season. He should have had more passing yards last year, more passing touchdowns last year, more rushing touchdowns with Derrick Henry being on his team. This man managed to get more passing yards than he did last year, more touchdowns than what he did last year, and he still has more rushing yards than what he had last season. Even with this man Derrick Henry having almost 2,000, oh my God. And not only that, man, this man Zay Flowers, his number 1 receiver, has 200 more receiving yards than what he did last year. Come on, man. Look, I'm sorry to say it, man, but I can't go against that. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, okay? And if he keep performing like he is, he could go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game of football. You get what I'm saying? But as long as he has people like Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be hard for us to give him MVP over these type of players. Unless he put up numbers like this, it's going to be hard. But look, man, let me stop running my mouth and let's go over here and see what my boy Chad Ochocinco and my boy Shannon Sharpe had to say about this whole MVP talk. Let ride.
Look, for me, I still think Lamar, and I get what the voters are going to say. The voters are going to say with Shannon, bro, he got a 1900 yard rusher in his backfield.
But he didn't have it MVP last time.
I'm like, huh?
He didn't have a 1900 yard rusher when he won MVP last time, so they can't use that excuse. Don't move the goalposts.
But I'm saying, but see, last time Ocho he threw 25 touchdowns. Right. He's at 39. With another game to play. So there's a great chance Lamar Jackson is going to have 40, 41, maybe even 42 touchdowns with less than 5 interceptions. Remember, he threw 5 interceptions. He was 25-5. Mm-hmm. Now he's got 43 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and maybe I think he got 2 or 3 fumbles. So let's just say he's 43 total touchdowns with 7 or fewer turnovers. So now today, after today's game, Derrick Henry has 1,738 rushing yards. Right. Lamar Jackson is a tick below 4,000. I think he has like 39.55, 39.65, something like that, passing yards, but he has 39 passing touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and he has 850-something yards rushing with another 4 touchdowns.
You can't
argue. It's hard. It's really, really hard.
Hey, look here. I know it's going to be a lot of people mad because I jumped ship. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but it is what it is. This man is single-handedly the MVP as of right now. I think him and Mahomes is the top quarterbacks when it comes to excitement, when it comes to being electrifying, when it comes to being playmakers or whatever the case may be. As long as those 2 quarterbacks are in the league doing what they're doing consistently, in which they have been consistent since they entered the league, it's going to be that much harder for Josh Allen to go out here and get an MVP over those 2 quarterbacks.